This is Voicing Vitality, coming at you once again with a spoken word poem. And this one is a bit of a hard one to do, but bear with me, my sisters and brothers. This one is entitled Concentrated Winter. I've wandered so far off the reservation that I no longer show up under any indications, not even radar. For the entire world knows who I am and who we are. And just feeling so far out of place and out of sorts, ending up in a space that is obviously off course, maybe from a poor choice or never sold out. The most correct and beneficial source, without a doubt. As I let out screams and shouts, but no one hears my voice, seeming mute to others as I continue to endure and hoist myself out of bed at the start of the day, but wandering around aimlessly, I must say. As you look upon my confused face, right after an exhausting hunt and a constant chase, divided by race and class, social status, and repeats of the past, as I try to balance life in my hands and plagued by the strongest chains that left constant fingerprints on the empty glass, while grounds that surrounds us with past blood covered over with grass and never received a pass, as the current ones live with the aftermath. So how much longer will this last, and will have to put up with this, as my feet constantly sinking quicksand with a dark abyss underneath, sinking by the minute, and can no longer see my hands or feet, with so much being kept discreet, as the hatred increase, identity lost, and never any peace, a descendant of slaves that are long gone and deceased but never forgotten, having to deal with various complexities that are completely rotten. So as I proceed to roll up my sleeves, write and read and convey our allegory, as the very dark skin that I am in tends to frighten and offend, scares many but will never know all the places I've been and what I've gone through, with enough pain for two, or living within a society that was never set up for me to ever win nor gain 1 inch, as my people have been scattered for miles and miles, frazzled and rattled and shaken up, enslaved and lynched, and clenching closed fists, for enough is enough, and can't seem to ever get off of the bench. We're seen as less than the poor, never adored but constantly roar, and have befallen underneath the boards, sprawling and crawling, yet enemies of the powerful and rich, but conveniently beneficial when they want more and can't complain or throw a fit, living life both hit and miss, considered lazy and wanting a handout, but their view is obscure and hazy and drives us crazy, and never knowing personally what this is truly about, as it persists with so much seen and felt, because all of this. But I digress. Would a chance ever come to be seen at my best, and along with the rest of my people, no real freedom for us? For we have never been seen as equals, and so the sequels continue, with disfranchisement on the menu. So as I move to a close, but have left many clues in carrying this everywhere, with a much needed change of venue and living life on a jagged line right in front of you, the blackness of the streets at the scene of a crime, rewinding the same old lines that's not hiding anymore, do the pausing many heartbeats, because it has always been here, just now with a closer up view, as it arrives and appears, with many feeling blue, all the way down to their very core, feeling defeated and not allowed to soar. For countless reasons, need I say more? So wake up, my people, because so much has been taken away from people like me and you as peace left and racism grew and founded a nation on the backs of those polar opposite of the privileged crews, as reparations are in order and definitely due. For this is the one bill in debt that has constantly and consistently accrued. For you could never rewrite this history enough to show or display a nation not surrounded by doom and gloom that reeks of misery and subjugation. For all of the debt owed could never be truly paid in full, but must start somewhere. For this and other nations have severely mistreated my people with not 1 ounce of care and severely cruel, nor have made the conditions and situations fair, but yet you want us to just forget and move on, even with all the disdain floating around in the air. Well, we're tired of hearing that same old statement and song, having salt constantly poured in our wounds, and just refuse to see all of this as downright wrong. And I could go on and on, of course, and follow this up with my voice, but don't want to beat a dead horse, because I've already painted a pretty good picture, I would say, leaving many this way with no power going to the light fixture. But just know that our feelings on this matter would never go away concerning these issues, because this is not something you can just sweep under the rug and call it a day, because the rug itself has left the floor and is showing everything underneath more and more as the pile and line of this trash goes out the door and around the corner. For we feel that the latter is not much better than the former, and counting all of the tears falling from all of the garners. For this number is extremely high, the ink that has left the toner, and seen as ugly and despised, and I hope before it's too late that more hearts recognize this and grow fonder and warmer with softer words spoken by lips, but not waiting on this to happen no longer as the hatred grows stronger. So this will remain to be seen with everything in between and all the chapters and what even comes after, not holding my breath any longer in anticipation for those that are guilty to finally come clean and never deem to halt deviant behavior and actions along with your satisfaction, because there has never been a deviation from appropriations and accessory, if you will, in every way, shape, or form, deprived by the depraved in every single way of anyone who has profited and prospered still from this oppression and suppression, and thinking this is the norm, causing our reactions from the very first day that this all started became like Armageddon to all of those with a dark complexion have become the departed. For we have all been under a chaotic storm and in much need of restoration that has not bared or produced a true winter. Having your dessert with fancy dinners because too many people have been icy and cold, all while being sinister, sitting back and relaxing while we soak in the nefarious things and have been administered while your freedoms ring with a heart stuck in darkness and a frozen or missing soul, yet bold enough to ask those that have been severely wronged to forget the past and the ways of the old and just move on. Yet we still continue to witness and experience vile and evil acts unfold, for we are at max capacity and past time for this calamity to surrender. For we have been dealt a serious blow and not going to sugarcoat what is true and real, as we have lived and died through this ordeal without real justice and appeals and seen as a game ender. From those with ice water in their veins and wanting nothing to ever change, covering this world over, and have made many victims as the clouds of darkness remained from October to October, treating this as a status symbol with a dusty trophy on a cracked shelf and claiming to be a victor, thinking only about self and nobody else, just wanting to always be the only center as you're a walking, talking, concentrated winter. This is Voicing Vitality.